We're back. Hey, somebody.
What up, though, somebody?
Welcome to Build for This Kingdom Marriage. I'm Jazz.
And I'm RJ. Here we discuss kingdom marriage, dating to marry, also growth and healing.
Our hope is that we all come to a clear understanding of God's will regarding love and relationship, aka marriage. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, Built for This Kingdom family.
What's up, good people?
Today we're going to be talking about going from being single to married in 9 months.
It was kind of
our story, because I didn't know how I wanted to word it. We pray the story is encouraging. We're saying this to encourage you to see and know that God, if we move out the way, let God do what he do, he can do it like that, right? But also, when we get in the way, what happens as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what because we about to air the laundry, the dirty laundry, if you will.
You gonna air it. You gonna air the dirty laundry? And is that how you say it? I'm being serious.
Oh, so maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't know. You know I mess up sayings.
Sayings?
Before we even met, where were you? Like, what led you up to me? And like in a quick story, a short form. So like, where were you before we met? What was going on with you in God or in your life? Like, that's what we're talking about. And I'll do the same.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off like before I got married, I met my wife. I was back at home in Detroit. Where my mindset was that I knew that I needed more and I knew that I deserved more. So that's where my fellowship, my walks with God, and what I mean by that is like, I just had conversations with God like every night, I take walks at night or I just take walks during the day and I just talk to God, what was up on my mind and what I needed, but at the same time, I always ask, like, if it's your will, if it's your way, you will make it happen. And I remember one day he showed me the things that I need to get rid of, the things that I, was holding on to. And it was stuff from the past, with women, how they treated me, how they did me wrong and stuff like that. So I end up just leaving Detroit, 2012, moving to Arizona, and I continue to have my walks, my fellowship with God, because there was a lot of stuff that I needed to deliver from. And another thing that he pointed out to me was back in 2008, we had going into the new year, I had wrote a letter to him, asking him, praying to him to, send me a wife who I can love, who I can care for, who love me for me, where we can grow, we can build together. And I also stated too that if she have a child, that would not be my stepchild, that would be my child as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So so I want to ask, before you met me, were you single and dating, or were you just single?
Before I met my wife, I was single dating. That makes sense. Single and dating, and I noticed too also that I had a pattern going on to where when it started to get serious, I would back off. I would back off because was
that pattern happened with us too.
Yeah, I would back off because it was like, I don't want this to, it was like, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to be going through this process again. Like, it was like in my head, I was thinking like, okay, here we go, the same song and dance. Let me back up.
And that same thing happened with us, but I would say a little different. But it still was the same.
Yeah, the same thing happened with us, but it was a little different. It was where more God was giving me revelation, and he was telling me like, hey man, you wrote this letter and you asked me to get you a wife, and she go right here.
What happened with us is he kept saying, no, I got to get myself together. I got to get it just came out of left field. I got to get myself together. And I'm like, I think by the third time he said it, I said, all right, now, okay. So let me let me backtrack. So when me and my husband met, I had literally went on a date probably a few days or a week before. So I was dating, single dating. I had previously moved to Arizona. So we left Michigan at the same time. I went to Georgia though, and I was in a relationship. So once I came to Arizona, I'm trying to kind of move this forward. When I did end up leaving Georgia after 8 months, he came to Arizona. So when I got to Arizona, I cut that relationship, like completely was done. Like it's done. I'm over. I'm moving forward. And when I cut that relationship, I think I met you 2 or 3 months later. I don't even think it was that long, but I was dating before that. So when I met my husband, literally met him, like we introduced ourselves. I had just came from off a date, maybe a few days. Um, I don't know, a week or so prior. But when we met and we were dating, I still was dating. We had that discussion, like you should still date. I'm gonna date. So I had came from before we went on our first date. That's what I mean. I had went on a date prior to that, right? So that's where we was. Same thing, God, or the same thing. I was walking with God. I know He told me I was a wife before I even left Michigan. Before I left, but He told me in order for my life to be different, I knew I had to leave. So I left and went to Georgia because I knew people there, but also because I was in this relationship and this person was going to be coming there. That's why I went. Right? Those were the reasons. Because I initially was going somewhere else in my mind, but I never asked God. I see how that went wrong too. I never asked him where. I just was like, I knew he told me to move. Okay. So once we met, we already spoke about this in other videos, our first conversation or our first few dates. And I want to get back to what you were saying, like that pattern that you had. And then how you were trying to like run away or push off. And, I had those moments too, but it was me like being in denial, if you will. Not denial, that's not the word. I was like, this can't be this simple. It can't be this easy. That's what I was going through. And it is. God is not an author of confusion. He works in sequence, patterns, order, right? He gives us good, or he wants what's good for us. He wants an expected end, a hope, a future for us, right? So he's not making it be. I think when we think it's simple, we like something wrong with it because we've been going through all this time, all this chaos and craziness, and what we go through or been through, we like nah. So we kind of push off. So he pushed off in his way, and then I was pushing off, or I was resisting. My husband actually did push me off, and it hurt my feelings, but I talked to him about it though, and then we got it together, so it was quick. So from the time we started dating to us being engaged was 7 months, and then we got married at 9 months. Now, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just come to think about it, like my push off, again, like to be honest, it was like I didn't want to be hurt again, and because like when I enter a relationship, and if I know that it's just going to be okay, just me and you or whatever, I'm the type of cat that I'm gonna give you my all. I'm the type of guy that I would give you my all. I mean, like you're gonna get my full attention. You're gonna get my silliness. You're gonna get my caringness. You're gonna get my understanding. You're gonna get.
Okay, babe. They don't need to know what I'm getting.
You're going to get all of it, but at the same time, I got hurt too many times, and I remember the enemy was playing at me when I was just like, I was thinking about that, and it was like, oh, you gonna do this for her? All she gonna do is just gonna take it, and then she ain't gonna call you back. Like had thoughts and stuff like that. So I used to definitely I just backed up. I'm like, nah, I'm straight, and I ain't gonna lie. I used to come up with excuses. I used to come up with And that's what it was, like excuses. Oh no, I ain't ready. I ain't got this. I ain't got that. Oh, I need to get this house first, and I need to get this job here. I didn't apply to this place, so I want to be able to present myself and show you that I got this and I got that. Okay. But God told me that didn't matter.
And the reason it hurt me is because we were working together by this time. So it was people coming up to me saying, like, I thought you and Reggie was dating. He's saying this, or he was talking about moving. It was just so, I know that was the enemy, but still it was the matter or the point of like, why is other people knowing this? But when we conversate, that's not what's happening or what's going on. So I talked to him about it, and I let him know, like, I asked him, what is going on? Like, why am I hearing this from other people that ain't even got nothing to do with this? Like, what's going on? So we talked about it. And once we talked about it, we came to a conclusion. And that's how we knew, and this is how our marriage has gone from that point on. Like, this is us. Everybody else is cut out. Like, this is not a community marriage, okay? This is a two come together marriage. Two come together as one. Like, this is not a community thing. This, and no disrespect to, this is not a family thing. This is not an outreach. Like, no. Does that make sense? This is a in-home, inbound. Like, we learned that early on. And we stuck to that and stuck firm and planted in it. So that's the gist of us getting married, like how quick it is. Everything was smooth, other than like those little friction or resistant things. Everything flowed. It had peace. It was smooth. It was easy. It was no confusion. Like, the confusion was where we just said a little resistance, confusion, and we got that together.
Right. I mean, don't get us wrong. It wasn't. We were not saints,
No. So we're going to talk about that now. Yeah. Like, we're going to get into how we got in the way off of our own personal or what, fleshly desires, if you will, and what we believe was the rewards. I say rewards or consequences for that, or how the enemy had a foot in our marriage or relationship. Now, go ahead.
What I'm about to say, this is going to be like, it's going to be, kind of aggressive when I say this, but when I had my walks with God, I did not have no type of physical contact with a woman whatsoever. Like,
well, yeah.
Well, not, I wouldn't say physical. I would say, I don't want to say it and we mess around.
You had no thoughts or
I had no.
What do you mean?
No. I did have thoughts and desires to,
I'm confused.
To have.
Okay, we don't have to.
Yeah. Anyway,
to be intimate.
To be intimate with the woman. Yet when it came to, it was just like, nope. Like, just nope. So that's how I knew that as I was doing this walk, I was cleansing.
Yeah, becoming pure.
Yeah, becoming pure.
Yeah, that's good.
But when we came together, we did it before we even got married. And
okay, so let's talk about that. So we did have a conversation. We agreed that we were not going to, but we did.
Yeah, we did.
And I believe that, that was us getting in the way, because God told me, like he's saying his journey was with God. He knew he wasn't doing that, or he never did. I know I knew that I should have been waiting until marriage, right? So with that being said, we both had a knowing, like, don't touch. Like, I said that in my videos, like, don't touch, right? In my dating, and which for the most part, that's what it was, don't touch. But we decided to touch, and what happened was, or what we believe was the results of that is, so now that we're married, I'm pregnant, and we went without, I want to say 5 or 6 months, we went without medical insurance for our baby, because wasn't that around the time that you were getting?
It was around the time
stuff started going down. Like, once we got married, it started spiraling down, right? Or everything started coming to the surface.
Yeah, everything. It was like we knew that our child needed a healthcare provider and
we had that
a doctor.
but
Like we had
what
that,
happened
but
was our insurance didn't cover it
our
anymore.
insurance didn't cover it, and
I'm
then
trying to think.
I was also transferring to the distribution center.
No, so that's what it was.
But the
We
transfer
went from 2 jobs to one
but the
as well.
transfer is supposed to happen.
Babe, we ain't gotta get in detail with that.
No, like it's supposed to happen 6 months before, but ended up taking like 2 extra more months or whatever. That's what
Okay,
kind of
expanded. What we saying is we had healthcare, but then we didn't, because remember we went from 2 incomes to 1, because that's when I stopped working. So anyway, we went our last half of our pregnancy without any doctors, without anything. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, well, I know back in the Bible they had midwives and things like that. I said their babies was okay. My baby is gonna be okay. So we were praying over this thing. Also, our first son together, he ended up having a heart murmur, and we had to get that monitored for the first few months. We prayed over that thing. That thing went away. So, did I say a heart murmur? Yeah, it's a heart murmur. He had a hole in his heart. That thing closed up. We prayed over that thing, but
and then
so that's the gist of what we're saying. What
it was where I didn't know what it was, but it was what's that, postpartum, and it was like how
the postpartum,
and how like it was. This is my first time experience, but just seeing it. I mean, just remember it was like really, it was like really tough. It was really challenging because it was like, when I found out about it and the doctor, she explained it to me or whatever, I was like, okay, I ain't let it go in one ear and out the other. But when it started to happen, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is her or if this is the postpartum. So it was just like we was boom, banging, head clashing. And it got to the point where one time where I exploded because I just let it, because I didn't know what it was. I was confused. So I just like, let it go, and I ain't say nothing, and I just let it go. And then one day I just exploded, and I did not like that feeling. I did not like how I felt and how I came at her. And
it starts spiraling down, but we got back on track now because we kept praying and I would say and things like that. But the point in this is when is talking about fornication. Like, God is serious when he's talking about that. It's for the betterment of us. It's so we stay pure, right? Pure and innocent until we come together in marriage. But also so that the enemy doesn't have a foothold. Like a door is what's going on?
No, I'm listening.
Something happened. I'm sorry. A door is now open when we come against and rebel against what God is saying is best for us, or what he's telling us not to do.
Right.
Now, I understand mercy and grace and all that, but God does not go above his word. He's not going to be like, oh, well, because y'all did finally get married, or y'all did get married, and the point was we shouldn't have been touching. So we believe these were consequences of, or this was why those things happened. I'm not of the thought that things just happen just because I know we broke a law or we rebelled against what God told us to not do. Like I said, personally, because he knew and I knew God, me and God had this thing going on personally in him and God too. But we, for our fleshly desires, or couldn't even if we had the thought of like, well, that's going to be my husband anyway, it still was, why not wait those few months? Like why not wait?
We battled with communication, we battled with family, we battled with finances, we battled with all that too was something that had to come up from. We battled with like being selfish to where like hanging out at night, not saying where you at and nothing. Like it was just like it was wild. It was and crazy.
But it was a quick. I would say that was the beginning. Maybe the first 2 years. I know people say that though, like they first 2 years. But is heck. But that comes too from us coming together as one. We committed to marriage. So now the enemy is trying to do what he's going to do whatever he can to tear that thing up. The enemy does not come except to kill, steal, and destroy. He's not coming for no other reason other than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what we have to understand. I know we say that time and time again, but it's, do we understand it? Do we believe that?
Right.
Do we see that? Do we understand that the enemy comes, like he monitors our patterns. He watches our patterns, and that's how he try to get you each time. He know them patterns, them repeats, them struggles,
Mm-hmm.
and he them the same tricks or
Same
schemes
tricks.
he use over and over, like in a cunning way or a crafty way. So study him, and not even just study him. Know why God is telling us these are the do's, these are the don'ts. Know why, because if you do this, the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. Now he coming to God like, hey, guess what your servant did? Hey, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. According to spiritual law, according to law, God, I got him. And God gonna be like, no, don't do it. No, he does. He's not gonna go above his word. That's what I understand. That's what I believe. And yeah, so we're just telling y'all, don't do what we did. If God has told you and you want to do that anyway, be pure, abstinent, practice it until you're married. If you're a virgin, stay there until you're married. But just know why. God is not saying don't do this because I just don't want you to have it. It's it's for the betterment of us. It's for our own good.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back all the way to Genesis with the in the garden with the tree. It's for our own good. So don't do it. Stick with it. For anybody, I'm encouraging you, stick with it. Stay pure until you're married.
Pure, stay strong, walk by faith, not by sight.
If you have where you feel like, well, I don't want to lose them, they're not yours. If you think you're going to lose them, if they're trying to convince you that, yes, we need to do that, they're not your spouse, man or woman, because there's women that be out here doing the same.
They're not
your wife. If she's trying to make you or convince you, he's not your husband. He's trying to make you or convince you that it's okay. And you know, you and God had going on. You know the vow you made to God. You know what you wrote. Okay, I'm going to stop. But yep, that's what happened. And we're just thankful for God's grace and mercy afterward. Like we said, that hole closed up. We got our finances came back together. We got it all. It came back together. We got it together, but that was a rough.
Yeah, finances came back together.
That was a rough patch.
Wife begun her career in doing hair. I ended up getting a promotion from the DC. Actually, I ended up getting like 2 promotions. It was so good, and we ended up moving into a bigger home. And
then too, that was the other reason we didn't have the insurance. What his wages was getting garnished. Like it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
We was going through it, but
it was a lot.
Again, I said, okay, now.
Oh, they took our car.
It was bad, but
they took our car.
We got through it, and that was honestly how I knew. Like, if we already hit the bottom already okay, we can make it through some stuff.
Yeah, we
got this right. Yeah. So it wasn't an option to break up, divorce, none of that. I'm not getting no annulment. No, we gonna get this together.
Yeah, and then it was times where we had conversations where you brought up, you was like, babe, do you think, if I would have stayed working at such and such longer, you think? I was like, I say, honestly, I sit there and I think about it. I was like, I don't even think if you would have stayed there longer, if not, it still would have been the same outcome, like for real.
Do you think we should have got married afterward? Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, okay.
But it was,
we wanted to put this out there to encourage someone. Let God do what he's going to do.
Let him
if
do
God
it.
said, hey, you, Ashley, you can't do this. You need to save yourself, Brian. Don't touch Kevin. Listen, when he give you a specific instruction, that is even...
Follow the instructions, Sheila.
That is even more like you better do.
This go for you too, Kim.
But like I said, we want to be that or practice that anyway, because you want to be, soul tied, all that stuff that be going on because we had to come against some things. And, if you're going to do that anyway, generational bloodline curses, generational healing, things like that. But
it's
getting
deeper.
rid of soul ties and all that.
It's deep. It's deep.
repentance for dishonoring your body, giving your body to a man.
Right.
It's a lot, but listen to God. I might cut that out.
Keep it.
Listen to what
God is
saying.
saying.
Read your word.
Right, read your word. Stay in your word. Stay in fellowship with God. Do not break that covenant.
Speak with wise counsel.
God. Yes, wise counsel. And then also here's another thing too. That God would send people that you don't even know that you've been having conversations with him about. He would send people to you and give you the answer, and you'll be sitting there like, how did she?
Yeah.
So,
I used to always know, like, I know that's God speaking to them. I knew early that's God speaking to them because it's no way they could have known that.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know. I was just surprised, and every time when it happened, I still was surprised. But you know, I was hard headed.
I don't think I've ever been like, how did you know? I used to be like, that's God. I knew it was God speaking to me. Like,
I used to be like, man, who told you that? You know,
I know God speaking through you.
Like,
but yeah,
like, what are you talking about? They look at me like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's cool, and I just brush it off like whatever. But
we wanted to give y'all the goodness. Like I said, as soon as I broke a relationship, my husband was there. Like, as soon as I cut off what was not for me, he was right there.
Mm-hmm.
So let go of the things that, if God telling you let some things go, whatever God is saying, do it. That's the whole point. But let go of those things. Get rid of those things. Get yourself together. Heal. Get your body together. All of those. Get your mind together. Get all these things together before you come into. And don't just want the marriage. Don't just want the spouse.
Do not play with God. Do not play.
Do not intentionally play with God.
Do not play with God. Do not challenge him. That's all I got to say with that. Like,
because he's saying what he's saying for a reason. And he will not. He's not a man that he shall lie. He will not go above his word for me, for you, for nobody. You know, it is what it is. We perish because we lack knowledge. We perish because we're not in our word. We don't want the truth. We hear the truth, don't want it, don't want to receive it. Whatever it is, don't know the truth. We got to get it right. Bring it back together. So we pray this is encouraging, but also it helps you be mindful and know the seriousness of. Let God do what he do. We don't want y'all to do what we did. Because although we have a beautiful marriage now and all that, we are discussing what we did so you don't do it. Mm-hmm. The mistakes we made so you don't make those mistakes.
Right. We just hope that this video helps mind, body, soul, and spirit. We hope it gives you confirmation. And if this video is for Tanisha, Todd, Brian, Dylan,
not trying to reveal the names like me,
Xavier, Keisha.
All right, babe.
Brenda.
This video is for you. Play it again. Listen to it.
Yes, play it again. Listen to it.
Go sit with God. Pray.
Yes.
Repent. Whatever you need to do, and get it right. Come back into alignment.
Get it right. Get back into alignment. But until then, good people, we love you guys. God bless, and see you again.
Bye.